Hey everyone, this is Ryan Mitchell with thetinylife.com. It's a tiny house blog about tiny houses, tiny living, and other topics that we cover are life simplification and eco-friendly green topics and other things like that. So today I'm here to talk to you about 5 ways I would improve Jay Schaefer's Tiny Tumbleweed homes. I want to first start off by saying that I think Jay Schaefer does a phenomenal job with his homes. I've been in one personally. I've toured it. I've spent a couple hours kind of milling around in it, spending some time in there, and so I feel that he makes a great quality product. That said, and I think Jay will agree that anything can be improved, and Jay Schaefer being a designer, I think he can appreciate that. So, without further ado, let's get into our list. The first one is going to be radiant floor heating. Radiant floor heating is basically coils that are put underneath the flooring that heat up and basically heat the whole space from floor to ceiling. As we know, heat rises, and I think this particular feature is a very attractive one because it doesn't really take up any space. In fact, I would think that most people wouldn't even notice it's there. Now, a lot of people will argue that, hey, I want to live off the grid. Well, there are some that do want to live off the grid. You certainly could still have this in there, but I think for the majority of the folks out there that are living in tiny homes, they are going to be on the grid somehow. They're going to be tied in even if they use it very little. So I think this is a pretty practical option for most. And as you can see here, this is a tiny house that has actually used radiant floor heating, and we can see that it's been a pretty good implementation. Dee Williams designed this home, and it's her Portland alternative dwelling, and she's been living in tiny homes for many years now, and I feel that between her living in tiny homes, designing tiny homes, and also working with Jay Schaefer to help her design hers when he was first starting out, I feel that she has a pretty good credibility within the community to say that this is a viable option. All right, our next one is going to be foot lockers. You can see here on the left and the right, there's some foot lockers. Basically, what these are storage units that they have lids, and it allows you to keep things in the bedding area very neat. One of the things I've noticed that the folks who live in tiny homes is they don't really have a lot of place to keep their stuff around the bed, like books and a flashlight and tissues or whatever you need, right by your bedside. You don't really have. And this one was actually submitted by Jonathan over at gunji.blogspot.com, so check out his blog. He designed these, and I think they're a great solution to additional storage and makes it look very clean lines, and kind of in the spirit and the design scheme that Jay has put forth. So that really rounds out my second one. You can see the picture here. In addition, it also allows the mattress to not move around. It kind of holds the mattress in place. Now our next one is going to be, let's see here, on-demand water heaters. On-demand water heaters have been used in some of Jay Schaefer's homes, but I don't believe it's a standard kind of issue item. For those of you who aren't familiar with what on-demand water heaters are, they basically take water and instantly heat it to the temperature that you want. It doesn't have a tank in it, and it allows you to only heat the water when you need it. And the really big advantage is, one, they're a lot smaller. Two, you don't run out of water, because once in a traditional tank, when the water runs out, you basically are stuck with cold water or kind of lukewarm. With these, they're able to keep up with the water flow needs, and heat it on the fly so you never get cold water. And the third thing is that they're really not that much more expensive than traditional water heaters. And if you were to take into account tax credits, federal and state, sometimes they're even cheaper than the traditional water heaters. So between being smaller, not running out of water, and potentially being cheaper or about the same price, I think it's a great option, and I think they should be in all the homes. I should note you can run them on propane as well as electricity, so that's gives you some options there. Now the next one is going to be integrated jacks. Integrated jacks basically are jacks that are welded to the frame of the tiny home and allows you to lift the home off of its wheels so that you avoid what's called tire shock. Tire shock basically is where you have a loaded vehicle, trailer or car, sitting in one spot for a very long time, and tire shock will actually break down the walls of the tire as well as make flat spots. And this can be really dangerous. It causes blowouts and just weakens your tire, and it means that you're basically going to have to spend more money to buy tires, which we all know you're consuming more. It has a larger impact, and tires aren't that very eco-friendly to begin with. So we're going to be safer. We're going to save having to buy tires, which is money, and saving the earth by using jacks, and also it allows us to kind of stabilize the whole house as a whole. Now the final one is going to be flexible shelving. In the one tiny house that I saw made by Jay, he had all shelving that was tied in directly and was not able to move around. I propose that you need flexible shelving so that the stuff that you have can be stored in your tiny house, and the shelving can be influenced by the items you are storing and not the other way around. We all know the mantra of tiny houses is everything in your place, everything in its place, and everything has a place. And that's a really important thing, and I think flexible shelving will help that. So again, my name is Ryan Mitchell. I'm with thetinylife.com, blog about tiny houses, tiny living. I encourage you to check it out. We do lots of posts, and I thank you for your time. Have a great night.